hostel now because it's nice, and I can sit up on the bed. But look at this. Let's go lounge out here. This has got a great like deck area. You can see there's a nice deck area here and a pool there. I don't know if you can see all that. It's about to rain, so we're like just in the middle of these buildings here. It's met this Mexican dude over here too, and I managed to get a little wine bottle, guys, over here. So when there's extra energy, you know, I'll do a live session. Press the like button, guys, so it sticks on the screen for other people, hey. And so at least I can lay here on this, on these deck chairs here. Nice big deck chair. It's a good spot to do it. Look at the nice pool over here. I don't really use the pools much, but some people chilling and drinking wine as well. Yeah, it's a nice hostel, this one. So just while I've got a minute out here. It's a nice little hostel. I don't know what this is. Oh, other rooms here as well. So you can have a room here or in the main building over here. And it's just like a little bar over here. Surfy theme as well. Thanks for donating, guys, so I could stay here in this like more like upper class region, you know. It's nice because I was at base camp too under a big log. You're going to see those videos where I'm under a big log. Everything should be smooth with my like going back to Australia because the password and the channel email and everything and all the details should be updated so I can should be able to log back in off another device because I won't be able to maybe put the Australian SIM card in this phone. I don't know. Hopefully it just works and it just changes over. That's not bad, that one. Not a bad drop. So, yeah, let me know what you guys want to talk about because I've got a little while here while I'm here. All I've got to do is upload and download some videos and make an end of the videos ready. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you want to discuss. I'm going to be here for a little while. Guys want to ask anything? Otherwise I'm just going to chill around. I'm pretty tired as well, so just wait. Probably not too many people come in right now. Probably a bad time to do the live, but later on I'll be asleep because I've been just traveling every day, all day. I see someone there. How you going? What is going on? When I get back to Australia, I'm going to... Yeah, let's talk about that. I'm going to need like a month to just... You know, pretty much unwind. and then we're going to be starting off a lot of consciousazine videos for the website. I want to keep it going, if you guys keep donating, I can. So I don't have to like just go work for someone else, but I'm also going to go work for someone else. Man, I even look so tired. I did not look this tired this morning. I must need to sleep right now. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this hostel. It's so nice here as well. And it's finally heated up so I can actually sit outside. So when I get back to Australia, I'm not even going to have a surfboard or a license, like a driver's license or anything. I don't know how I'm going to deal with all that. Got to go back and get everything ready. But I was having these intense visions the other night in this dream. Does anyone else feel like some dream environments are like virtual realities, you know? And if you can lucid dream in there, what I was talking about in the sleep ebook was talking about if you lucid dream, like, have you heard the idea that you could use like 1,000 chemical reactions on a chip in a virtual reality? I kind of wanted to talk about future stuff today actually, but have you heard that before? You can use, you know, like 1,000 calculations per second or whatever, blah blah, right? Especially with a quantum computer, and then you can do virtual reality where you do chemistry tests, you know, so that you don't blow up the lab. You know what I mean? So that's the way you can use the dream environment as well, like a virtual landscape. If you're really good at lucid dreaming, you start to wield that. It does seem that you start to wield like a power in the dream. Do you guys agree? Hey, Infinite Corridors, how you going? Do you agree, man, that when you are like dreaming, that you like, when you're lucid dreaming, the more energy you have, like sometimes on a psychedelic, after that, when I'm really clear, or like cocaine, for instance, that will clear you out a lot and give you a lot of energy for the astral. Or really good cannabis, like cannabis that's like a good sativa hybrid, so that you get the energy from the sativa, not like just the indica, like which relaxes the muscles, but a good hybrid can help you astral a lot because it relaxes the muscles and then gives you that sativa energy, CBD burst. And the things that are like CBD and CBN more, usually, because, you know, indica is always higher in the THCs, and that side, like CBG and THCs, shit like that. Hey bud, I hope everything is going well for you today. How's life in the simulation? This is like the best simulated day that I've had for a while, so I thought I would just get on camera. I'm sitting here like at a resort type of thing, drinking some wine, so it's way better than base camp too. But it was really cool to live under this big log for a week and camp out. Like, I know, I love getting back to nature and getting out there in the actual forest, you know, and to the beach, because I feel like you need to clear at the beach and then go into the forest and you soak up like the mineral energies. It's more complex an environment, you know. And it's like at the beach is like a, you know, crystal clearing, but it's not like, I guess it's a different type of information because it's still informational. And I connect more with the stars at the beach as well, especially like if it's, you know, like a nighttime meditation or something, go down the beach. But usually I like to do it in the morning, ground there because it's a quicker clearing, and then go to the forest because it definitely does something else. Not just like the feeling of like a blanket on the nervous system, like a comfort from the soil humus and stuff like that, but and, you know, an immunomodulation from all the spores in the environment and just everything getting active, all the bacterial and viral colonies that you start connecting with and stuff, right? It's kind of like switches on life to go into the forest, you know what I mean? Get you into survival of the fittest so you don't waste away in just becoming like a piece of shit human, you know what I mean? Like some people, man, just be wasting away and like getting like cellulite-ish and shit, you know what I mean? Like building up death inside themselves. Anyway, what'd you say there? There's certainly multiple natural plants that can help with lucid dreaming. Yeah, like onorigans. Have you heard the word onorigan? So not a psychedelic, but basically, because they help the psychedelic experience, but they don't have psychedelic compounds necessarily. Some of them kind of do. Do you remember the pineapple sage plant? I've shot that video of pineapple sage. It has the red flowers. That's an onorigan as well. You can even smoke that, and that'll help with like your dreams, because that's what an onorigan is. If you check the word onorigan, on like ONI, onorigan. Pretty sure that's how you spell it. It's all through consciousazine. Yeah, the onorigan. For me, the best thing that always helped me was repeating the mantra that this is a dream. I'm dreaming. Yeah, you should get my sleep ebook. It's only $10, man, on Amazon. Why don't you buy it, man? It's $10. What I've got there is an eclectic, like, I copyrighted. I won't lie about it, but I integrated into my work, you know what I mean? Like, so it was an actual standalone book, not just other people's articles. But there's a little bit of like eclectic information on there on different methods to be able to sleep. Like the military method is one I remember, and then there's a whole section on lucid dreaming. At the end, I did, because I thought, well, what am I going to do to make this book special? I talked about death. I talked about dimensionality of dream, like dimensions in dreaming, a little bit. I should probably do a book 2 and actually go into that. Like, I did not talk about like the actual dimension you might be visiting. I just thought I could have added that just then. But I talked about dimensions in dreaming, and then a whole lucid dreaming segment at the end. It's a whole big segment on lucid dreaming. So I think you would like the book. Hey, Northern Soul 22, how you going? Yeah, dream herbs, onorigans, they're the go. Infinite corridors. If you want to go there, because they're more smooth. More here in Uruguay, they have a word called suaves, which is like smooth, relaxed. You know what I mean? It's not as intense. If you get on psychedelics, you know, it's an intense experience. I'm worried every time I take a psychedelic because it's going to be something, and you shouldn't piddle the dose. You know, you should be taking like a palm fruit just fell on me. You should be taking, a big dose. You shouldn't be piddling the dose. Even if you drink, you shouldn't be piddling the dose, unless it's for relaxation, you know what I mean, during the day. But you want to get the hit of the thing that you're trying, right? Anyway, onorigans, I find that they're smoother. Everyone who's joining in, look where I am. Nice day happening here. Really, it's a nice little hostel here. Some of these hostels are better than the hotels, man. I'll sit this way for a minute, so you guys can like see more the nice environment. Hey Northern Soul, found my channel, what a journey. Man, there's some videos on this channel, there's over 2,000 now. You found the only sold place on your trip. Yeah, this place here, you mean where I'm staying right now? Yeah, it's pretty nice. And the chick at the desk definitely had a soul. She's from Argentina. Hottie. Greetings from Yorkshire, UK. Oh, you're from UK, Yorkshire. Gnarly, man. Far away. I can't wait to be back in Australia though. Man, I just want to surf every day. Like I grew up like surfing like 3 times a day. You know, like, and we would just sleep and watch a surf video and eat at this like pro surfer guy's house, Sean, my friend. And he would just do flips past you on the wave, do aerials, radical aerials. He was a really good surfer, and we would just go to his house, and his mum would just cook us food for God knows what fucking reason to look after the surf rats. I wouldn't. I'd be like, go food foraging, fend for yourself. Honestly, I can't really partake in really psychedelics these days. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good thing to talk about, actually. Let's talk about that. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2011. Yeah, don't listen to the doctors. Now I'm going to have to mention my knowledge on schizophrenia again. I was basically completely psychotic and forcefully locked up and medicated. Well, that's no good, dude. But let me talk about that, because scientists found, they used to point the finger at you and say, oh, you've got the schizophrenia gene, but now they found 42 or something genes connected to what people call schizophrenia and stuff like that, and bipolar and all that. Mainly, this article was about schizophrenia, and it looks more like some kind of, an opening. And, one of the famous people I quote is Terence McKenna, and he used to say, the shaman and the schizophrenic are swimming in the same mind ocean. So it's about dealing with the extrasensory intake, because you're just multidimensional, and these people are like flatlanders of this flat world or something, like that. I always refer to Dr. Quantum from that 2016, 2006, I think, documentary, What the Bleep Do We Know, Down the Rabbit Hole. You remember that documentary? And they had the Dr. Quantum skit where he flew into like a little flat world, and he took the circle out of the flat world, and the circle was scared to like come out of the flat world. Like that. So you just got to find a way to deal with the extrasensory input, and that's the job of the shaman anyway. They give us all free tobacco. What? Why do they give you free tobacco? What are you talking about? Who gives you free tobacco? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, tobacco can be medicinal if it's, good tobacco. Obviously none of the stuff sold in like society really, because it's all pesticided and all that. Yeah, so the schizophrenia thing is they used to point the finger and say you've got some kind of schizophrenia gene, something wrong with you, man, and then just ostracize you and outcast you. But the last thing I read was they were up to 42 genes, so it looks like more of an opening and a changing, which, like I've said, there's been a virus involved in the production of the woman's placenta. Remember I was talking about a corona video, I was talking about viruses and human evolution. You should really look into it, because it's crazy. It's like the Matrix self-hacks itself. So you get like, a virus come along and hack the human body. Corona definitely did that sort of thing. But we're not talking about that today, and people seem to hate me talking about it. Yeah, see, you even said, the schizophrenia is definitely something more open than a normie NPC, you see. So you got to calm yourself down and just figure out how to taxonomize what's happening to you. Because it's not like it's all rubbish or something, and you can probably learn a lot from experiences that other people are not having often, right? Because they may be overarching, psychedelic experiences, for instance, you know what I mean? Comes through your life and wipes it out. and you completely change what you're doing in your life, So it's the same thing if you're a schizophrenia person or they've diagnosed you. We all know I am. It's just learning to deal with it, taxonomize what your extrasensory immersion is giving you, because that's what you've got. You've got extra sensory immersion ability into the field, into whatever the hell it is, and all the dimensions within. A psychiatrist gave everybody free. In the ward, they gave you guys free tobacco in the psychiatric ward. I suppose keep you guys calm. And it's legal. Otherwise, they would. If cannabis was legal, some people would off that. But some people might say that would enhance it. Anyway, Northern Soul. Man, Infinite Corridors. Yeah, seriously, just learn to figure out what is happening to you, because I think what we've got is extra. Like as a schizophrenia or bipolar. Bipolar is a bit different. It's like entering into it, and it's like what organic portals get, because it's like they can't go any further. It's just duality, you know what I mean? Which stops in the fifth dimension anyway. Do you understand? So I've never been diagnosed with bipolar, interestingly enough. And no one's diagnosed me with schizophrenia, I just know I am. Because of that Terence McKenna quote that I mentioned earlier. That made me clue onto it. And then I started studying it. I realised this extrasensory ability, really. You've got a mind that wanders places that they can't wander. Northern Soul says, these awakenings, I had mine in 2016, it's a really dark experience. You go through the demonic narc experience, then you get to this matrix and the organic portals. Yeah, Northern Soul, it's interesting because I'm going to write a book called The Eschaton about 2012. Now, it's very interesting. I'm just here at this place, and this guy I just met is from Mexico over here. He's gone over here, and he was saying, he mentioned the Mayan calendar. I was like, yeah, I know about the Baktuns, right? Because that's how Terence McKenna configured his time wave to end in 2012. He thought, well, let's test that date, since, you know, it's a big calendar system ending there. Those Baktuns, 13th Baktun. Yeah, and it's interesting that I just meet this guy here talking about that as well. And I'm going to write a book called The Eschaton, where I've mentioned in past videos on the way up into 2012. Man, I just got the sun in my eyes now, it's starting to heat up. In 2012, on the way into it was like going into a trip. So when you have a psychedelic trip, right, you're going up into it, right? Your frequency raises into the psychedelic trip, and then you come down out of it, right? And coming down. That's what we say. We say we're coming down from the trip, right? So it's the same thing in 2012. Like, so if you've had your awakening during 2016, you're what I would call late, but you're lucky that you got it in the eschaton. So even on the way out, because at least you're there when all the information is there. And so, because information changes weirdly over time. I don't want to even mention Mandela effect, but, you know, information just seems to change really weirdly. Like, things disappear, people change things and update things, you know what I mean? It's not concrete. So having the experience of 2012 was not just once in a lifetime. This is what everybody has to understand. If you experience the whole spiritual awakening in 2012, it was once in a universal time. Do you understand? Not just once in a lifetime, once in a universal time. So definitely once in a lifetime, but more, you know what I mean? More so. Yeah. Yeah. When, okay. Yeah. So you had synesthesia, infinite corridors. Sorry, back to your comments. When I was talking to you before Northern Soul just then. Infinite corridors. When you were psychotic, so to speak, you had synesthesia. Now that's a word like people don't use. Nobody uses the word synesthesia. Nobody knows what it fucking means. You know what I mean? I don't hear anybody use the word. I've used it in my videos, because my videos are very complex, aren't they? Except let's hold him down because he's too fucking good. When I was psychotic, I had synesthesia. My senses were all overlaid and recombined in multiple ways. That's proof of multidimensionalism, right? You got the proof that you're multidimensional there. You're saying synesthesia, which is, for people who don't know, synesthesia is where you get occipital lobe overlaying with some other part of the brain, like you feel colours or you see sound, you know what I mean? So you get different parts of the brain overlaying their sensory input. And to the organic portal, that's like a haywire effect. They can't, no comprehende, you know what I mean? Like, but to someone with their own spirit who, you know, is not just viewing from the Matrix AI's perspective, because that's what they are. They are the Matrix AI, these NPCs, and no more, right? Not just spiritless, but they exist on an AI level with these seven devils, and on a sort of like the artificial overlay, which is like Tron. You know the movie Tron? I always talk about that movie Tron, where they're in the artificial, like virtual reality. That's kind of what this place is like. And you know how we had, what's his name? Flat Earth Paradise channel. He talked about the artificial overlay and all that. If you're up to date on those videos he did a few years ago. So when we're getting synesthesia, we're getting multiple overlays. It's not just, you don't just see the brain as producing consciousness and the brain, not working properly. It's actually giving you like a different perspective. And remember, perspective was only discovered in art in the 1500s. So I mean, it's an add-on. It's not something that's like, in the base consciousness, right? That's the point. NPCs don't have that. It's like they haven't undergone that evolution of perspective. Some of them, right? There's different levels of progression of consciousness in NPCs, but some of them, man, it's like I've met people that they so live for other people and are so family oriented and so like sheltered from the world that they're really in like some kind of an epitome of NPC like consciousness. Like they're a specimen I'd like to pull out into a museum and say, here is an NPC level 2, you know what I mean, or something like that, for real. So they can't even do synesthesia, so it's something, right? It's giving you a different perspective, and I think every time I get a perspective of anything that's not my own, it's an addition, and I just have to not get crazy from it. Crazy, what does that mean? I just have to fit it in to my taxonomy and my schemata of reality or whatever exists, right? So that'll help you deal with it, and there's nothing greater, you know what I mean? Of course, go grounding and stuff, but the whole idea of fitting it into your schemata will help you deal with it. That's the only way you're going to actually like have a healing from it, you know what I mean? By using it. So yeah, use your schizophrenia. It was a lot of extra information, there you go, that I couldn't deal with at the time. Yeah, I'm definitely right. I know I am. Thanks, Infinite Corridors, man. That's what happened to me. It was like a trip, and Northern Soul says that's what happened to him or her. It was like a trip, and I've never done drugs. Think I can't handle them. Kandinsky had what? Kandinsky had that see patterns and colours. I don't know who that is. Kandinsky. The artists and creative people are the real souls. The organic portals copy and mimic, I have found. Yeah, they steal our intellectual property, and they steal our dreams and stuff like that. What I find funny is the Matrix goes so far as to steal your hopes and to steal your visions and implement them in an NPC's life. So it's very interesting. You know what I mean? Like the AI is like stealing it behind your back and then implementing it in its matrix, whether you die or not. You know? I'm drinking this today. Haven't had wine for a while. It's okay. Not the best one. I like that Don Pascal I showed you guys last time. Hey, what's it like in UK over there right now, Northern Soul? What's it like over there in the UK? Like economically, sorry, I mean. Because here in Uruguay, it's pretty good. They've just raised the prices of like everything. When I came here, empanadas cost 30 peso, and now they're like, I've seen them for like 90. So like triple the price in some places. So I'm just wondering what's happening in UK. I haven't talked to anyone there for a little while. Dystopia. Well, that's interesting. That just means I'm correct about, this is the apocalypse, right? And if you're saying that about the world's leading country, and when you look at places like California and and places like this in US, and you see the homelessness. And my parents in Australia were just telling me about all the fires displaced people in Australia, and there's more people. Like, it's interesting there's a housing crisis at all. Don't worry, they're gonna die. They're getting old. We'll have all their houses. No, it's interesting there's a housing crisis at all. We can just build like concrete domes. Have you seen the military technology they have? And that's like out in the open. That's not like secret tech or anything. It's like a throw up tarp system where they concrete the like tarps, I think it was. Not tarps, like mesh or something. And like an easy little home you can make for someone in Africa or something. But anyone, right? Better than a tent. It's not as bad as USA, okay? So is there a lot of homeless people on the street in UK, or what's it like there? I'm really interested. I know like one streamer from UK, but not many people from UK that I talk to regularly. So I'm very interested to know. Would you say like the homelessness is half of the California? Or what? Let's measure it up against Cali. That's so bad. They got to get their act together. It's getting worse, but no. Okay. So he says it's getting worse, but nothing like USA. There you go, USA. You're falling behind. Yeah, I can't wait to see Australia again for 5 years. I heard lettuce was $12, and like something like a steak meal or something's like $30 or something. I remember, or maybe more. I remember like going to the surf club for surf and turf and having it be, under $20. And I remember lettuce being $1 to $3, not 12. So that's insane that it's $12. Shit. Have you heard? Have you heard though about how many times you should have died by now, but somehow remained alive each time? No, is there a new like a spiritual theory? That's a good one, because that's something like I should talk about, because man, I have like 100 lives. But there's that guy who does the videos. He's like quite built. He does videos on like chosen ones and all this. And Chris Matt, you gave me the video, Chris Matt. Thank you for making the consciousazine video all those years ago again, Chris Matt, by the way. Integral. But quantum immortality. Yeah, that's a good way to fucking put it, isn't it? So, wow, that is I'm glad someone came up with that. So the idea just straight away comes to me of you reorchestrating the surface here of, the last spin on the particle or something. Do you know what I mean? By your quantum consciousness and so on and so forth, right? So the point is the seventh dimension. What have I always said that is? Sound, color, harmonic, higher light. That's heaven. When people say heaven, you cross the six-dimensional gate, right? The geometrical archetype dimension, right? Of infinite archetypes and sacred geometrics. And so the seventh dimension comes into the grid of that six-dimensional grid, right, which sits on the fifth-dimensional living light, like plasmonic layer, right, before particles, and then you get the particle pop out, which is kind of a fourth-dimensional virtual reality. Basically, what we're considering, and David Icke mentioned this recently, we're considering the fourth dimension like a full-on virtual reality. It's like a really good analogy. The lower astral, how he was talking about, that's where like the darkness is, that's where like that demiurgic, archontic, like sort of being consciousness is, and the dark beings and stuff. It's like a very virtual. reality. I mean, I don't want to say the other dimensions are not, because that would be fooling myself, but let's just stick to the lower dimensions for now. And so when people talk about quantum immortality, hopefully they've mentioned dimensions. I doubt it, because nobody ever fucking mentions them. No, why does no one talk about them? It's like it's pretty difficult to understand, but you can grasp it. It's very concrescent knowledge, though. Right? I hope you guys have realised this talk about dimensions, because people only ever lay mention to them, then they can't talk about them. But if they're talking about quantum immortality, man, that's a very interesting subject, man. Thanks for bringing that up. So Infinite Corridors says, have you ever thought about how many times you should have died, but now somehow remained alive each time? Some people would say like timeline jumping and all this stuff, but this is way better. This quantum immortality thing, it's more solid, right? That's a more solid like theory base, and yeah, I really like that too. Yep, the quantum immortality theory is based on superimposition or superposition. Can you say that again? Superimposition or superposition? Did you type it right? Superimposition of consciousness? So Infinite Corridors is saying the quantum immortality theory is based on superimposition of consciousness. The moment of death is when your consciousness instantly quantum jumps into a parallel reality where you never died. Wait, hold on. So it is kind of related to time jumping as well. That's interesting. It works. I like it. Yeah. Hey, Northern Soul. Oh, so you're a female. Oh, okay. And he calls it... Yeah, David Icke calls it the Trap, this place, yes. He just wrote a new book and he called this place the Trap. Yeah. It's interesting, man. I'm glad that he called it that. That's cool. Interesting. Hey, EK, how you going? Interesting theory, infinite. I should have died many times as well. Yeah, so you get what we're talking about, EK. Hey, like, as soon as I heard him say that, I was like, oh, that so applies to me. Like, I mean, I almost drowned surfing one time. I mean, I've jumped off things where, like, inches to the left was a rock. You know what I mean? When I was a kid in Australia, like, we were really wild. And in Australia, it's a different type of wild. You could almost compare it to, like, Africa. There's a different type of wild in Africa, right? It's just a different type of wild. They can have fucking a lion walk in their camp. You know what I mean? So it's like in Australia, it's the same thing. Like, not that the same, but it's like same in the sense I was saying, like, it's a different type of wild. Like, it's really gets your, like, evolution going out there. Like, you've seen the guy punching the kangaroo, I trust. You've heard about, the top 20 snakes out of the top 25 most poisonous in the world are all in Australia. So it's like a different sensory environment, right? It's a different type of wild. It's not like in some places you go into the wild. Like here in Uruguay, they don't have anything poisonous. There's not much things like out in the wild to challenge me. There's some cows. You know what I mean? So yeah, I should have died many times in Australia. Been stung by things. Yeah. Hold on. There was something... hold on. I want to go back to a comment. There was something we're going to talk about. I think I might have missed it. Oh, yeah. Infinite Corridors. Just before we get to that, Northern Soul, I want to talk about in a second, but Infinite Corridors was talking about he can't really partake in psychedelics anymore. It's interesting. Like, I do want to... Like, I wanted to go to the Amazon and do a lot of ayahuasca. You can get ayahuasca here in Uruguay. I mean, you can get so many drugs here in Uruguay, like psychedelics, like, synthetic things, whatever you want here. It's so easy to get things here. Like, it's a very free country here in Uruguay. It's a pretty good country, you know what I mean? Like, it's safe, and you can also, like, get a lot of stuff. Like guns are like partially legal and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much shirking of the law and stuff. And money, like if you have money here, you're gold, you can do whatever you want. Like, people just let you pass so much easier. But yeah, psychedelics, it was interesting because people were saying, you know, Gunther Bernard and his lady from Veil of Reality, the original Organic Portal article I think all of us has read. I remember her, his chick, was saying she thought there was a demonic consciousness that overtook ayahuasca or something. And I said, I don't know. I don't think so. I think maybe it's just in there. They said it was hijacking it. I suppose you could say hijacking, because that means that it's not part of it. That implies that it's an outside force, manipulating the thing, in this case ayahuasca, and not part of it. So I remember talking about that in another video, saying no, it might be in your mind, but then I reconsidered and thought, well, perhaps it's in the mind of the ayahuasca. Maybe they are right. You know what I mean? Because it's an entheogen, right? That means a plant spirit, right? So the plant has its own mind. I don't know about talking about organic portal plants, if we should go into that. I would probably pick the ornamentals, but I don't know if that's being fair or not yet. I don't have enough knowledge to even say that. It's where I would point the finger, but even I'm a food plant teacher and all that, but I don't know. I can't say that. That's a big conclusion. Because it's like stupid to say, like, just because it's ornamental, it doesn't have like a spirit or consciousness or something. Probably not correct. It's probably just a plant that some other animal can use that we can't use, you know what I mean? Or something. But yeah, with the psychedelic thing, it's interesting that I've also been like shying away from it, even though I want to do certain ones. For instance, I'm drinking this wine here at this place instead of going to seek out the Cambo frog, the psychedelic frog, or buffo from Africa. Right? I can go see a guy called Marcelo, and he has buffo and Cambo. So I can take this psychedelic frog, which has psychedelic compounds. It's $50 or something like that. So technically we could easily afford it, but I didn't want to do it. And I didn't contact him, and basically because how I'm traveling and I'd have to go all the way to the city. So it's not just I was scared of it or something. I didn't want to do it. But I didn't put in that extra effort, you know what I mean? And I contribute that to the coming down out of the eschaton. Like, who wants to do another drug when they've just come down from a drug? So the eschaton, 2012, right? The spiritual awakening and all that, it being like a trip, right? Like a psychedelic trip, and us coming down from it, right? You don't want to do other things so much. You know what I mean? You don't want to trip again while you're still coming down from a trip, like the biggest trip ever, right? The temporal time trip, right? And multi-dimensional awakening and all this. So, yeah, I attribute to that. Like, I've been less inclined, because I was going to go for a vibrational theory just then and say, well, it's like, like the vibration of them are not in harmony with this time in my life or something, but it's not the right way to say it. There's a better way to say it, that it's the coming down of the eschaton trip. And who wants to take another trip while you're coming down from a trip? It makes much more sense. It'll work its way home to you better in understanding. Because it's not just like vibrationally I can't handle them or something. But also if you're coming down, think, well, yeah, what I've said there really summarizes it. It encapsulates all of it. The reincarnation soul trap is just that for organic portals. Yeah, David Icke's book, I'm going to have to try and get that. Someone has got to try and give me that on Amazon. Can someone buy it and then let me access their Amazon, and I can make a video on it and review it on the channel? because that's what Mario did. Shout out to Mario, thank you. Mario gave me access. I think I still probably have access to his Amazon account, where he bought a certain set of books, and so he's letting me read the books that he already bought. And if anybody can do that with the Soul Trap, or whatever it's called, The Trap by David Icke, I'd really like to review that and read it on the channel ASAP. Even though I feel we're ahead, I still want to see what he said. Infinite corridors. I guess it would be superposition. Oh, okay, so not superimposition. The quantum, what was it called again? Quantum immortality theory is superposition related. Okay, right. So the quantum immortality theory is based on superposition of consciousness. Yeah. But not just that. What I said before, did you capture what I said before? If we are multidimensional and you have the seventh dimensional ability, because you are multidimensional, to orchestrate the sound, color, or harmonics that enter your grid of creation, of whatever you're creating, the mandala in your life. I don't know, maybe you want to be an internet entrepreneur like me. Oh, you know what I mean? So like, you're orchestrating that grid on your life. If I was a surfer, I always talk about it this way. If you're a surfer, it's stereotype, that's a grid. A skater, you see how they dress different, they act different, they have different demeanor, you know, personality and everything, right? It's because it's another grid. Do you see that, guys, now? So what I'm saying, if we have the seventh dimensional harmonics orchestration ability, well, it's not just that quantum immortality is based on superposition, but it's also based on, and the collapsing, the wave field, until it's objectively, subjectively collapsed. Not objectively, you should be saying subjectively. I know why I said objectively though, for objects, like forming, information. But you mean subjectively there. Because the whole double slit experiment and our perspective or whatever, our consciousness changing the particles and blah blah blah. So you mean, okay, I'll say what you meant. I'll say what you meant to write. The quantum immortality theory is based on superposition of consciousness and the collapsing of the wave field, and until it's objectively collapsed, subjectively collapsed, then everything exists in a superposition. So I got my retainer in, so I'm just slurring and lisping, and I'm half drunk, half cut right now as well. So I'm just swirling around this wine over here. It's good to have me happy because I can think better. I'm so tired of this realm, I wonder if it's possible to power up a portal to exit this place. Jaden Transid was, sorry about the camera, Jaden Transid was recently emailing me, and he gave me a link to, do you know the lady with the grey hair about my length from Project Camelot? Now, I've heard sus things about that it's CIA related and all this. But anyway, whatever. So this Project Camelot lady from the website Ahaya or something. And she talks about the artificial bridge, the artificial bridge to the Archon universe or Matrix, and then the Phantom Matrix, the Phantom, which would probably be relative to, I forgot his name from that Flat Earth Paradise channel. It would be relative to his videos on artificial overlay, so artificial soul overlay. And it's that lady, you'll all know her. If you've like been in the spiritual movement or anything, you'll know who I'm talking about, that lady. I've forgotten her name, but I used to know her name because I watched her videos a long time ago. And Jaden is a young Australian surfer from Western Australia. And I'm stoked to finally know someone on our level from Australia who's another surfer. So I'm going to have to try and visit him. And we'll go for a wave over there in Margaret River on the fucking volcanic sharp rocks. It's crazy over there. And she talks about how this matrix like got a phantom overlay and an archontic bridge to the Archon matrix, and shows that pattern where there's like it's based on the Kathara. Sorry, from the Kabbalah. You know that, what's it called again? It's that thing that's like that shape. It's got like a rectangle and then two triangles on either end. It's the Kabbalah Kathara or something like that. And then there's another thing she shows on, and I'm not such a fan of that, but there's another thing she shows, 4 segments. You've probably seen that diagram because I've seen it elsewhere, of like different like matrices, which is all just lines going everywhere. She's basically got it drawn out in, old mate's got a Snuggie. Did you see the guy with the Snuggie? Did you see the Snuggie? Man, I've not seen a Snuggie. A dude was wearing a Snuggie. Oh man, this place is chill. I have not seen a Snuggie on anyone for a long time. I hope everyone saw that. I tried to get that. We'll get him when he gets back. Can't believe it. That's awesome. Snuggie. Yeah, so that lady Ahaya, she talks about basically she calls it a stairway to heaven is her video, and it's geometrically based, right? Dimensionally based, but not all inclusive dimensionally. But we're piecing together the pieces, right, of the puzzle. So one thing I said in Organic Portal's Handbook. Hi everyone. I see some more people coming in. We're just here at this nice little hostel in the buildings. How you going, Ratton? Hello. Meet my Mexican friend here. He's from Mexico. I'm just live here.
They gave me this as a present.
Oh, Traversa. Do you know I was with the lady who's from this family in Montevideo?
Oh.
I was with her.
This is Tanat, right? They were drinking this, a Peruvian and a Brazilian.
Oh, no way. That is much better than the wine I have there.
But this is...
Jesus.
They gave it to me.
Cabernet Sauvignon Rouble. Okay.
This is Tanat. Not bad, eh?
Wow. Much better than the one I've got. I have not drunk that much, but I was with the lady from that family. Her daughter is Traversa.
Uruguayan family gave me this as a present.
Oh, those people there.
The people there gave me this.
Oh, okay.
Tanat. But that's
a different one.
From Dolores.
Okay.
Soriano.
And that's a different one there than that.
This is Tanat.
Oh,
this is Cabernet Sauvignon. This is not open.
Okay.
Not bad.
Man, that one is nice. Thank you. Enjoy. I'm just on live here, so I'm just going to keep chatting. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so that lady from arhaya.com or something. I'm going to have to link the video somewhere. We'll talk about it in a video. I'll do like a screencast so you can see what video I'm talking about. But some of you should know her. She's very, everyone knows her from Project Camelot. Those videos where she's talking about really crazy spiritual stuff. And she has a video called Stairway to Heaven or something. And it lays out more of what she's talking about to do with this geometric quad like grid pattern. And when you think about it, I was looking at it and I was thinking that is how a universe would be structured. And it really hit me, you know, like I've seen the diagram before, but years later now it really hit me like, well, how else would you like structure a universe? Like have it black and geometric patterns, right? And we see Fibonacci and everything, right, and all that. Fibonacci sequence and spiral and all that, which is geometric. You know, it's in all the trees, right, which we have to call the foundation of this matrix, right? if anything, the trees, right? We can't even breathe here without them. How you going, Ratan? Where are you from, Ratan? Mr. Singh, I see you. Yeah, where are you from? Can you tell the root cause of PF, these anomalies? What PF? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're talking about, PF. What does that stand for? Yeah, I'm here. Let me know what you mean. Northern Soul says, after this live, go and socialise with the people there. Yeah, it'd probably be good for me, but I'm good. I'll be back in Australia soon, so I'll be able to like socialise more, talk with more people. Yeah, the whole time here, that's been like part of the hard part here. He has a Snuggie. He is wearing a towel. He's wearing a towel. Man. That's awesome. That's all I can say. That's awesome. He must be more stoned than me. Oh wait, I think I have a joint. Hold on, we're gonna smoke a joint. I'm here for even longer. This is good. This is a good thing. Okay. This will refocus me. Yeah, but I'm already getting good memories before I go because you guys donated really well, so I was able to like not just like, you know, sleep in the bush or something. So I could be staying at these hotels. Although I really, really have enjoyed the times that I just went out in the bush and fucking got on grams of cocaine, man. What an astral trip. What an astral experience. I won't be doing it in Australia because it's just so illegal there and so hard to get and so expensive. Like when I get a bag of cocaine here, it's like $20 or something. And in Australia, I never used to do it. But just because it's so cheap and available here, even though it's like not like pure or something, really helps clear out and energize for astral travel. I'm going to do a whole set of videos on it when I get back to Australia, which is probably a bad idea because I'll probably think I'm doing it there. But that'll just give us more gang stalking videos anyway. You can't lose when you're a player. Yeah, no, fuck this place too, man. Like, I think that this place is demiurge built and it's an energy extraction matrix and it's not good. They're my conclusions after the years anyway. And when I write in Organic Portals Handbook 2 or like OP Matrix Guide, that's when the hardcore information is going to come out. OP Handbook was a handbook. It's meant for you guys to have the basic stuff walking around the street, and we're going to get the hard copy out. It's only $125 for the ISBN, the special number for a book. For the OP Handbook, the EPUB version, I was able to just get an automatic ISBN from Amazon. They don't require you to buy a separate one. So that book's coming, and the Eschaton, and I had my files erased by Veronica. You know how I was just with that dude drinking that wine just now? And I said I was with that lady, Traversa, from the family Traversa? That's who Veronica's ex-husband was. The guy from the wines out there. I went out there in the wine fields. They're massive. But yeah, so far as getting out, I forgot to re-comment on that. Rattan, I don't see you talking again. EK, when you're talking about like getting out, yeah, what I was talking about OP Handbook was you have to build the rainbow bridge magnetically suspended between brain hemispheres. Unless you build the rainbow bridge between brain hemispheres, you don't see up into the higher eternities and higher dimensions of life. Real life. Yeah, even the Bible, man, if the Bible can capture this shit, even the, I'm not a fan, I'm not religious, but if the Bible can capture this, you know, it's obvious, it should be obvious. And it's a feeling. It is obvious. Like if you're a monk sitting up in the Tibetan ranges in Himalaya, right? Not on here, but meditating up in the Himalaya, right? And you're in meditation just like all day, which is largely how I've been here in Uruguay because I've been very mute, not being able to talk to a lot of people. Doing a lot of meditation, right? 5 years of hardcore fucking meditation out in bushes, grounded, barefoot. Who's doing that? Nobody even does this shit, man. And then you got to wonder why I have such a connection sometimes. And it's because you go grounding and you're electrically connected to everything that exists, right? That's why I like going to sit under the log and get fucked up in nature. You get off your head. Off your head means off the prefrontal cortex where the ego really is established, right? That's what it means. In Australia they have a saying, get off your head, mate. Right? It means getting off your ego so that you're not just the experience of like needing a smoke or needing a drink or needing to sit or some body urge, of the body. But to get out, you have to build the rainbow bridge to explore the geometry to be able to figure out the path out of here. And it's not as simple as, like, people talk about all these videos like, I remember even Truth Dog channel done a video on, you'll getting reincarnated and recycled and like the trap, and you'll see like some master of yours or some being, could even be your dog, if you were emotionally attached to your dog or something, in like the astral or whatever, on your way out, if you go towards the light, right, that theory, the towards the light theory, reincarnation theory, if you go towards the light, you'll get like suckered back in, you know what I mean? But it's way more complex than that. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get to go to the light to begin with. How do you know you're even going to get to that part? That's probably, I don't know if that would be 10D or 5D. I'd be guessing maybe 10D. Originally I was thinking 5D, but I think that would be 10D. What do you guys think about that? When you the whole, when you go to the light theory and the reincarnation thing, where is that part where when you're going down the little thing where you can see the light and you get the light gets building and you get into it, just like when you cross. That's why I say to people what Terence McKenna said, don't piddle the dose on psychedelics, because there's barriers, right, that you encounter and you have to cross them. And if you don't have enough energy, you don't get you're like scratching at it. Like when I had ayahuasca, I had one glass and I was angry at the shaman because he only gave me one fucking glass. And other people said something. Another guy in the group, he said, yeah, listen, what was the deal with the one glass? It's like we paid like a certain amount of money. We're all expecting to like really get the experience. And it was like I paid for his drums to distract me from my visions. Because every time I got deep, they were organic portal as fuck. It was like, like that nature, because they were snake, I think they were snake fucking spirits or something, the shaman. And fucking, and his chick, and his woman. And he said to me, you had the experience. I just didn't want to argue. I just said, yeah. because I did something that I wanted to do. I like pulled out like Watiki. You know Watiki? I was pulling that out of myself during the ayahuasca trip, which I found very interesting because I didn't find that on Floropon. Do you know what Floropon is? That's ninth dimensional. So ayahuasca is eighth dimensional relative. And the ayahuasca is like long trip DMT, right? Which is 4-phosphorylated indoles and is very similar to the magic mushroom psilocybe range, the 200 mushrooms which make up the psilocybe, cubensis, and all of that, cayensis, the psilocybe range, not the amanitas, not the other ones. Sorry, I'm missing your contents, your comments there. Yeah. Well, you can buy it on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, Northern Soul, type in Shaman Walking Crystal. I'm just going to title all my like quick books, like the sleep one is a Sleep by Shaman Walking Crystal. And so if I do one on grounding, it'll be Grounding by Shaman Walking Crystal. You know what I mean? And we just do it like that. So it'll be very easy for you to find all the books just under my shaman name. Alright? It's $10. Man, that's one meal. That's why I think most people on this channel are fucking idiots. You heard me. And I don't give a fuck if you just want to fuck off. I really don't care. Subscribers are going up without you. To get fucked. Yeah, I think most people are idiots because like it's $10. People don't put in $10 like for something spiritual when they put in $10 for like food in an instant, you know, without thinking, like in impulse. You impulse to the ego body, but you're not impulse to spiritual insight. It's fucking stupid, man. Like, you're dumb. You're just going around in circles. That's your life, circles. Fucking pathetic, man. Jesus, Moses, they all said they came to set the captives free. Yeah, who do you think the captives are? Left side of the brain. And what did I just tell you about? You know, you need both sides of the brain. Half side. He said human prison bars, right? He calls them human prison bars, right? These people who implement their will over you. These dark fucking beings, man, that we all deal with on a daily basis. You need to really implement their will on you to like feel their presence or something. You know what I mean? So otherwise they don't feel alive or something. Or they are death incarnate, maybe. Huh? You ever think of that? Do they say people like us are love incarnate? Maybe they're death incarnate. Maybe it's that opposite wave energy. You know how Terence McKenna was talking about the time wave? He's talking about there must be a future incident wave. However, we all know the forward vector of time, right? The opposite way, like temporal vector of time that science will talk about. However, there is clearly a future incident wave as well. Like, that's why we see visions and stuff. Infinite Corridor says, as far as the light is concerned, I know where we generate our own inner light. I utilize it every day to phase shift into my inner astral pulse, and it's subjectively real to me and made of light. Yeah, but even thoughts are made of light. And when we talk about light, I think some of these people think we mean the electrical field or the photonic field, because there's a state different change in an electron and a photon, right? There's a difference in the energy state and spin and all this. Many characteristics. It's not the same thing. But isn't it interesting? It seems like the same thing, like electromagnetic spectrum, right? It's all grouped together for some people, you know what I mean? Like, people see this like place as an electrical universe, even though it's photons, technically. And phonons, the sound, and then we only see 1% of it. I think it's an interesting thing what David Icke was saying. We see not even 1% of like spectrum, and then there's a little book, you know, the Bible, in that a little sliver where people like hold their their being to. They tether their being to that book. You know what I mean? So Northern Soul said, Jesus, Moses, they all said they came to set the captives free. Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why living souls are here for, but they don't listen, don't cast your pearls before swine. Yeah, I've heard that one before. Okay, yeah, just go to Amazon and type in the sleep, just sleep, and by Shaman Walking Crystal. It's only $10, and yeah, I think you'll like the lucid dreaming section. And how you going, Nikunj? Jayas. The hints always lie with us, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. 4D is where the Archon... So Northern Soul said 4D is where the Archons are, so do we need to be careful in astral realms? I disagree with you there. I don't think the Archons are in a dimension. They're outside of this matrix, and there's an artificial bridge to this matrix from their matrix. So the Archons are not here. They're able to access the field like a ghost, like a phantasm. Have you been watching ghost videos, guys? Remember Veronica, the lady that I came here to be with, she is from ICP, Investigation Scientific Paranormal. They're ghost hunters. They hunt ghosts, man. It's pretty liberal of fucking like a country to have this sort of shit. Like, that's why I like Uruguay in these senses, in the freedoms like that, because I mean, you're not going to get that in a war-torn country like Middle East and stuff, right? And you're not going to get that in probably Venezuela and stuff. Like, it's too dangerous to operate and do like concrescent stuff. That's a concrescence. If you have time, it means you got somehow money to eat and stuff, and then go hunt for ghosts. You know what I mean? Because they don't get paid like a lot. She used to go there, she'd put oils around and sense the area, and then I would see things as well and tell her what I saw as well. I went on a few missions with her, but I didn't like it because it's boring, and I don't want to get like nothing attached to me from not getting paid or anything. I was just there exploring, you know. And she would just go put oils around and say some stuff and put little symbols under the bed and stuff like this. They have their little procedures. They do hypnosis. She did karma yoga. I went in there and I'd done my chi lectures. That's where I sold the tinctures, a lot of my tinctures. The first thing I'm doing back in Australia is making my tinctures in English. Because when I made them here, it was all Spanish labels. So when I get back to Australia, I've got to put all the tinctures, 25 tinctures, back into English. And it's hard enough work to have made them in Spanish. Now I've got to go back and I've got to check, from the label, okay, what does this say in another language? Then I've got to find out, the new research on it and stuff. Yeah, it's going to take a while. And then I've got to get all my driver's license and all this. So there's not going to be much new videos when I'm back in Australia. But I've got hundreds of saved videos from here. And we'll do lives as well. See, I don't agree with the Archons being in the fourth dimension, Northern Soul. And my sleep ebook's only $10 on Amazon. And you type in sleep by Shaman Walking Crystal. And so when you say the Archon's in 4D, I just total disagreement. In a video I'm going to publish, I was talking about, and I mentioned this years ago in one of those videos back at that camping, it's like a ghost, how they have, we see them from here inside the box, right, inside this box. And so we see they're like UFOs as well. We see their intrusions on the field, right? And that's what, it's even less with an archon. Do you notice that? So that's a measurement. I'm putting that out there right now. That's a measurement. The degree of visual, the degree of, you know, physical interaction, because the archon is so distant from you, and it's so hard to sense. It's not something you vividly see like reptiles in people or something, or robotic people or something. That stuff is all much more vivid and close, you might say. And like if you're sensing like parasites and stuff like that, astral parasites or parasites in people, or like when I would heal people, I would have to figure out their schemata from their nervous system very quickly, you know, to be worth my custard. You know what I mean? It's like kinesiology as well. They do that here in Uruguay too. I see a lot of like little signs on people's houses. They have a lot of little businesses, and some of them, sometimes I see kinesiology. I'm like, wow, okay. So they do that stuff here too as well. Hey Nikunj. Yeah, so in the Archon's video Northern Soul, I was talking to, I'm going to publish it soon. I was in that camping Serra del Toro at Periopolis here in Uruguay, and I was talking about how it's like an interaction on the field, on the electrical field, and it's between the gap. It's the arc between the gap. Okay, anyway, that's all I will say for now. Yeah. Okay. Nikunj, how to get out of anomalous situations. Weird name. Yeah, that's okay. I'm a diplomatic now with a... where are you from? Yeah, but what country? Where are you? Where are you at? I need to defeat this system, mate. I think that's a long shot. You know, I don't think we're going to defeat the system by protesting. Did you see that it's failing? I mean, we get little like freedoms and stuff, but it's like if you're in jail and you get to, I don't know, talk to the guards and get some new freedom or something. It's nothing much. You know? We're not going to defeat the system by protesting, I'll tell you what. That's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. No, we're creating new systems. Like, you know, if you do polypermaculture, again, I'll reference the video I was watching just last week by Indigo Traveler. You know that channel? He's got like 1 million subscribers now. Indigo Traveler, and he was in Haiti, the country Haiti, in the most dangerous town like in the world. They had snipers from some German ex-military dude's gang on the river shooting them as they come into the village. And then Sean, his guide, busts out a polypermaculture garden. And he says, yeah, all we need, we've got the sweet potato, we've got this, we've got the papaya. All we need to do is grow it. I'm like, holy shit. He's figured it out. In the middle of like this war-torn village where they poo in the place they catch their fish. So they're eating their own poo, basically. He's like, man, we've got to get these people a polypermaculture garden. I was like, it's happening. And that's all they need to do in Africa as well. We can terraform. It's terraforming. You know, before we go to Mars, we should terraform this place. You know? Yeah, what country are you in, Nikunj? Which actual country? Say the country's name. How to get out of... I'll answer your question. How to get out of an anomalous situation? It's an interesting question. So you mean, are you referring to this system? Don't delete your comment. I see you deleting your comment. It's okay. No one can see your comments. I don't think it shows on the video. I can't see them anyway when I watch the video back, but I can see them now, that's all. Yes, I wonder a lot about this life, and that's what the whole channel is about. What is internet for? Well, it's like a mass neural net of our species, right? But what was before the internet? There was a hive, a mental system, which is still around and causing problems. One clue, and I'm going to turn this over completely. The world would wait and watch. Oh, actually, Ouija boards. Yeah, I've played with an Ouija board before in Australia, and I had proper experience too. What do you want to know about them? Do you use them? Oh, you're from Sweden. Ah, nice. That is not a Swedish name, is it? It doesn't seem like a Swedish name. Maybe. I don't know that well. I want to get my Dutch passport, so when I get back to Australia, before my parents die, I'm going to make them get me my Dutch passport, because then I can enter Europe. Right? I got all of Europe. That'll be awesome. Yeah, I've been there. I lived in Holland for 3 years. When I was 3 to 6 years old, I lived in Holland. And you know what my dad taught me? Ex-Navy. He made these blow darts. Father of a shaman for sure. But he's fucking Navy. It's very strange. Very, very strange resonance. He made blow darts with paper darts. And when I make them, I can pierce your skin with paper. It's just magazines, because you know how they're lacquered. So the magazine paper is very strong, and then you lick it, and you make a point on the dart, and it's just how hard you blow it. And if you're like 5 meters away, I can pierce your skin. So technically I can poison you with a paper dart. If I want, I can kill you with a dart from my mouth, just from a pipe. So don't fuck with me. Yeah. Alright guys. I'm gonna go in. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Wait 1 minute here. I'm gonna go get some food. We'll go into the where I'm sleeping. Hold on. Yeah, when I lived in Holland, my dad, he made these darts, and we went and shot them into people's houses, into the window. So that's how my dad is, just in case anybody's wondering. That's why I grew up so wild, because they couldn't control me. No. Hey, by the way, this is one of the shirts that are sold at the market. The biggest market in Uruguay. We'll answer the questions in a minute, but I like putting in the story time. It's interesting. The biggest market in Uruguay is in the city, and the lady that I was with, from that wine family, not this one, but that dude before he came over and he gave me the wine, that Mexican guy, that wine, Traversa, is the lady I'm talking about, and she's from that family, and she would get these products. We had perfumes from France, and Nat Sherman cigarettes, and Habanos cigars, and she would get them from this guy who worked at the docks. So we were like the mob. That's how the mob did it. They just stole fucking trucks and went around the corner and sold all profit. So this guy, because he was friends, because that's how Veronica operates. She does meditations and all this, and because she does them really cheap, people give her a lot of stuff. And this was like when I started this channel in 2018, and I would go to the market and I'd have bagfuls. Like I'm walking around with this little trolley and just slinging like these rich cigarettes. This Nat Sherman was pure tobacco. That's why I did it, because it was like karma free. It was good tobacco, you know what I mean? It wasn't like chemicals I was pushing. I wasn't pushing out chemical cigarettes or anything. And really good cigars and perfumes and shit and shower packs, all this stuff. And we'd walk around and I'd just sell them for whatever. I'd save like 100 peso, which was at the time $5 Australian, and then if they had less, I'd just give it to them because it was just profit anyway. It's free. Yes, that was a story time. Can I ask you, Nikunj, how is Sweden? I'm not a Swedish national. Oh, okay, you're Indian. Yeah, that's why I thought that's so not a Swedish name. Yeah, that looks more like an Indian name. I'll say you're from India and you're living in Sweden. What do you think? Tell me. Like, is it much better than India? Because Sweden's like pretty rich country, aren't they? On it's Switzerland. I don't know much about Sweden. I was thinking it was Switzerland. No, Sweden is also very good country, isn't it? Finland and all them. They have good societies, don't they? I don't know much about there. Tell me what you think. Like, do you enjoy living there? Is it much better than India or what? Yeah, and so at this market we used to sell these shirts even. So I had free clothes before I made the range of the merch store. We'll sell those merch clothes. When I get back to Australia, I'm going to push the merch store because I'm going to get some of the clothes for myself as well and get into making really good, like little quotes and stuff on there. I thought it was funny when someone... Oh no, I better not say that. That's too much. Yeah. You like the diversity of flora and fauna. Sweet. Hey, Zachary. How you going? Ask something, Zachary. We were talking about Matrix stuff before. Infinite Corridor says, while watching this, I started quickly becoming ungrounded. It was making me feel anxious and unbalanced. I'm grounding right now and immediately feeling everything rebalancing. Yeah. Yeah, I need to ground right now. It's because I'm really tired, and then the wine hits you in the head all over. So I'm just like boing boing. It's like if you take garlic and you get brain desyncing. The sulfon hydroxyl thion, and thion is a portmanteau of words. It's why the fighter jets can't take garlic before they go in their fighter jets, because it desyncs the brain hemispheres. Hey Zachary, maybe the stars are satellites. Have you seen those pictures of people zooming in on stars and they're really a little like electronic, like geometric pattern? So sus. How suspicious. Hey? Banana. This place is good. I'm only here by myself as well. This one is cheaper than a hotel as well, and they have like a place to put your bags over there as well. Have you seen those pictures? Disco balls, yeah, they're like disco balls, aren't they? What's going on with that? Has anyone seen science like explain that? Has any scientist explained those pictures where they zoom in on a star and it's like this like swirling like beads of electric geometric pattern, and they're like, it's like warping, but it doesn't look like what you think a star would look like at all, and it can't be solar flares off a star that far away that we're seeing like that, right? It's like such an eye-opener. I don't know, has everybody seen that? Does everyone listening right now even know what I'm talking about? There's videos out there where people zoom into some stars. Have you guys seen the picture? They made a picture of, I think there's like 8 different ones. Now, I don't know if they're reoccurrent, like if the 8 different colors and patterns of these stars, and I don't know if they're recurrent, like if pattern 1 to 8 comes up multiple times, I'm not sure, or if that was just one zoom in. Has everybody seen them? Have you guys seen them? Yeah, V2K and electronics harassment. The scientists say it's gases, the stars. Yeah, there's no way those pictures are gases, though. And there's no way it's like a solar flare or something, or it can't be atmospheric interference. That'd be a stupid explanation. How in the hell the atmospheric interference would make a pattern like that? And that they're different colours as well. That that could be related to something, but like that science could explain easily. But like the actual way they just look, like it seems very suspicious, eh? Yeah. Boogeyman channel. I've never seen that channel. Boogeyman channel. I don't know it. What do they talk about? V2K. Oh. That's a good theory. It's on a track system, sun and moon. Energy ball. Yeah. But it's weird the pattern that those stars have. Like, if you've seen the picture, it's like when you find out DNA can be cross-sectioned and you see a photonic Mandela. You see a photon Mandela when you cross-section the DNA of the human. Have you seen that? Have you Googled that? In Google Images, if you can probably just type, I'm pretty sure you can type in cross-section of DNA and photons, and it's like a Mandela of photons. It's interesting. Okay. Alright, guys. I'm going to switch off the live and a parabolic telescope. Oh, okay. So his channel name's Boogeyman. Okay. I'll check it out. I'm gonna go have a look. Yeah, because you see some people that zoom in with their own telescopes to the moon and stuff and catch UFOs. Alright, Zachary, thanks for that. Yeah, I'll have a look at that channel. That sounds interesting. But everybody who hasn't seen them, you should check this out. There's these, I don't know what they're called because I haven't Google searched them. Not the photonic DNA. Yeah, I just did a mukbang on the banana. But there's these like captures where people zoom in on a star and they show you from the telescope and they zoom in on it, and I don't think it's video edited. And then they've also got pictures, and what they capture is like this weird sort of like strings. It just reminds me of string theory at a like large fractal level. But it's not possible, right? But that's what it reminds me of, just like warping strings of electrical current, it looks like, of different colors, and there's like a capture of 8 different colors and 8 different ones, and it's it's like apparently stars. I don't know if you're into like, you know, thinking that there might be some sort of like a dome or something, you know, stuff like that. But it doesn't even have to be like a crystalline dome or anything. You never know, because if it's a matrix simulation, then it can just update. And you know, once upon a time, it could have just been like those shards in Africa. Have you seen that? They found those blue shards, and nobody can identify the rock. Doesn't necessarily mean it's from outer space or something, you know, because science is not perfect or something. But yeah, they think it's like, you know, fell from the heavens, and it's got like a story behind it and stuff. Like it's like pieces of the old dome, and then you see like all the stuff about you know, rockets going sideways and stuff, you know, at the atmospheric edge, and um, you know, the series, the dome, under the dome and stuff. But it doesn't have to be a physical one. It could just be, you know, update. That could have been an old version, and if it's a matrix simulation, then it can update it, right, to a different, just whole ontology. That's the point of the word ontology. The relationship between things changes, and the morphology of them as well. So our morphology of having like ascension or something is different to someone who does not. You know what I mean? Someone who has no soul, who's not operating on anything but like the lowest, like, you know, body urges and stuff like that. In the same way, you know, there's a spectrum, I think, through time, ontologically, where morphology morphs. and you know, what better way to explain it than simulation theory? So it's once again like simulation theory comes in like overarchingly and gives, you know, a reason, because you know, and I mean, it seems simplistic at first, and you're like, oh, that's like too simple, but all too often that too simple answer is the answer. You know what I mean? Axiom where you find that, oh, it's actually true. You know what I mean? And it's just that simple. Safe travels. Thanks, Northern Soul. Enjoy UK in your shitty weather. Have you ever been to Australia? I've never been to UK. I went to Germany and Holland, but I never went to UK. Yeah, no worries, Nikunj. Go Google it. Google go to Google Images and Google photonic cross section DNA, and then I don't know what the other things, those stars, those patterns. Just put like geometric stars. It'll be like to do with probably domes and flat Earth people and stuff who have those videos. I saw it on that Iwa video of the Lost History. That video, that series of Lost History of Earth. That's where I saw the footage of those stars. But there's also a picture that people have made and put it together. Oh, it's starting to rain. I have to go buy something so I can have a shower. Alright guys, I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming, yeah. Enjoy. I always forget how to end this. Oh yeah, just press that. Okay.